In last week's episode, I entered the main server after making a combination of the tutorial levels into something that is fully functional. And this week, I introduce you my startup, East 58th North 3rd Mining Company. Thank you for the grand opening. The goal of this is to select how I'm going to improve. And I've read some books, and one of the books that I read was What the Heck is EOS? One of the key points is KPIs, key point indicators. Now, what I'm trying to do is run this like a business, got to make it as efficiently as possible, use as many indicators. So for my first indicator, I wanted to see what my harvesters were doing. And so I added a counter for every time they harvest and how much they harvest. When they retire, I put a ROI indicator comparing how much it cost and how much it harvested. And here are the results from that. So we started getting like 3 to 5 on an ROI. Then I made some other changes weren't directly affecting the harvesters. And then we're looking at a 10 to 11 ROI. Now, I do plan to improve this in the future and try to get even higher. We're not quite at the maximum per source. 10,000 energy every 1,000 ticks would be the optimal amount. And I haven't gotten there yet, but I also have some other key challenges that are a bit more important. So these containers I'm building right now, if I don't start repairing them or anything like that, they will disappear over time. So I got to get some repairs. I also got to make sure the upgraders get to the tower as efficiently as possible. So that way I don't have to worry about losing this room and starting all over again. The easiest thing to accomplish would be getting the counting of the energy right out of the way. So, I started real simple, have something written around the spawn, and that worked great. Then I learned about integrals and derivatives, and so I came up with this idea of EWA, which I forgot what the acronym is for, and update decay that I got from ChatGPT, and they work okay. I'm not sure how well it works for that, but it does just reduce the amount of storage for information to a really small amount. Now imagine that you want to make a whole bunch of classes for the different roles of the creeps. Well, that eventually, you're going to have like 6 or 7 files, and they're all going to be slightly different, but there's going to be something that ties them together. Well, I made this file to eat those other ones. It's called a task manager. I didn't come up with the idea on my own, but what it does is it assigns tasks to a creep. And it does this by having 3 things. So we have the name of the task, we have the check of the task, and then we have the function that we want the creep to do. So with this, it helps me filter out which creeps I want to do what, and I can really uniform certain repetitive tasks like withdrawing from a container. And that allows it to be more versatile. Like for example, I have this new thing where if the resources are low, I want my upgraders and builders to stop so they cannot harvest. So I just changed the withdraw task. If resource alert is active, do not take from the containers. And then I spent a lot of more time working on making sure the stats are just right. So we got the builders, how much they spent, upgraders, how much they spent, and just really getting that hammered down. And it was so well done, in fact, that the containers, they didn't make it. They despawned, but it was fine because I can build more. But I did build some roads for my upgraders, and it's time to put my code to the test and see if it will work. And so, I recorded a stream of it, and it worked. It was able to repair all the roads in a repetitive manner. So I don't have to worry about my roads disappearing anymore. They are permanent asterisks.